So this is my take so far on Coral Caldera. I'm kind of styling it like a marble and chrysocolla stone themed kind of like Atlantis city sort of thing hiding inside the caldera. I don't know. I don't know why I did that, but I'm kind of going overboard with it. So today we're building the Chrysocolla mine, which is opposite another ride right there, which is the marble mine. And the idea is this is where the city gets all of its blue from. The marble mine's where all the white comes from, and here's where all the blue comes from. I already built the coaster. I did not include the coaster in the speed build, and you will see why if you watch to the end, because the end of the video is a short bit detailing why. Oh my god. you just be happy it's not here. It ended up, it has pretty high excitement and high intensity. The coaster came out really nice, but the focus is the area around the coaster. The other ride extends out of the ground from the bottom and it goes up the hill. This one embeds into the ground from the top and it goes down into kind of like a strip mine. It sort of started out like a strip mine. The outside has like terrain where you could feasibly walk down into it, but it's mostly just a hole in the ground. And I'm doing a waterfall here. I've learned recently making this map that you can use glass tiles to kind of simulate the way water looks. And now that I think about it, I should have lowered the terrain here underneath the glass to give it a little more depth. I know it kind of looks nice just flowing directly over the stone. That's kind of what I was going for anyway, so that's fine. I don't know why I'm second guessing it. It looks great. I'm doing 2 layers of glass here just to achieve a certain color. That's kind of hard to get with only 1 layer. If you layer 2 different colors over each other, it just creates something different. And the waterfall pieces are slightly raised above the edge of the ground to give it a little depth when you look at it from the other side, because you can see the waterfall through the water, and that makes it look like it's actually pouring over the edge. On this end, I wasn't really sure what to do to get the water to look like it was pouring into the pond. So I ended up just putting the angled roof pieces, and they're not the right color, but that's okay, you can't really tell. So it looks like the water pours directly from that lake down into the mine. And there's a lot of theming around this park with giant marble spheres. I don't know why, it just seems kind of magical and mysterious to me, so I put those over here too, but except this is the Chrysocolla mine and not the marble mine, so they're going to be Chrysocolla colored. Chrysocolla being a copper stone mineral thing. I love gemstones and minerals, but I don't know anything about them. Chrysocolla's copper. I know it's a form of copper or something like that, and it's blue. And everything I know about it I learned from Guild Wars 2, because higher end jewelry was made from Chrysocolla. And it's blue, and it matches the park, and that's why I decided it's Chrysocolla that what makes the blue. Grammar, that what makes the blue. So if you want to get into it with like stupid, what's that stuff called? What's that thing called where people are crazy and they think gemstones give them powers? If you want to get into that, Chrysocolla is associated with prosperity and financial wellness, which is good because I actually beat the scenario while I'm doing this, and I'm making tons and tons and tons of cash from this coaster. I have 2 loans open right now, and I'm still making tons of money from this coaster. So that's good. Good thing I went with Magic Money Stone as a theme. These walls here are all, it's just walls. I didn't include that either because it was really boring to watch, even sped up. So I just lined the edge of the terrain with walls, and I'm embedding rocks in the side here. The rocks, none of the rocks really work embedded into a wall. They have like flat bases. They all have flat bases. They look okay if they're smaller, or if you get them like really deep in there like that one. Mostly they just look kind of odd poking out. I think it comes out looking slightly convincing. I don't know why they would strip mine this and not take the rocks out of the wall, but that's kind of a common theme, and you see it a lot in video games and fantasy media where you go to a mine and there's just gems poking out of the wall. Nobody bothered to take them. Nobody bothered. That's what they're there for, and they're like, no, we don't need these. We're not going to take these. I put a big giant tower one in the middle. The marble side, you can't really see it here. You'll see glimpses of it. It's made with all squared off pillars, and this one is more natural stone. Just because, I don't know, you kind of associate marble with big blocks, whereas raw gemstones are usually rocks. So, and I wanted to make them different. I wanted the one to go up, this one to go down. That one's squares, this one's chunks. Just trying to have fun with it. Overthinking it way too much. The excitement is pretty good, and then the decor got higher with the rocks, so that's good. And then to do a station building, I kind of wanted to imitate the shape of the Dodgems ride. The Dodgems ride has a really cool roof, and I thought that there were glass pieces that would let you make it, but there aren't. I'm actually really disappointed. I thought there were, you can see on the roof there, it's got half tile, diagonal, pointed glass pieces. Those don't exist. You can't do that. But I built the structure of it, and it's still a cool structure even without the pieces. And you do have all the pieces to build the structure, so that's cool. It's just alternating half slope cornices or borders. I don't actually know what the difference is between the cornices and the borders. I think they might be the exact same piece, I'm not sure. I keep meaning to put them next to each other and check, but I forget. I forgot the bottom base one here. And of course the poles, there's no poles that are the exact size, so they're kind of thick, but that's okay. And these also are missing the vertical piece. There's a vertical piece at the corner of the roof there, you can see. That's totally missing from this because I just didn't bother to look for one. And I thought it looked kind of cool, free floating on the corners. Yeah, see here you can see me looking through. I thought for sure one of these pieces was right, but they're not. None of them are. I just keep looking even though it's obvious none of them are. So I put just the flat ones underneath the bottom. And I don't bother with the alternating colors. I just do one straight color all the way across. Which I like this building. I use it for the rest of the park after I'm done making it. So it's not a total loss. And I also completely forgot to bother to make sure that it was the right length for the station. So it's not, but that's okay because I end up using a few of them. I was experimenting with different colors of borders here and kind of alternating the colors on the pillars. It just didn't work. I was trying to replicate the different colors of the glass roofs by changing the colors on the actual pieces instead. It just didn't work. So I just did blue bases and that looks okay. It's a really small blueprint, so it ended up being pretty versatile. I used it all over the rest of the park. So I stick it halfway right in the center, and I was just gonna leave it. It would look fine if I just left it, but it fits in nicely here, and it lines up, turning it, you can see it lines up in the corner there. Everything keeps going in the right pattern. So it connects to itself really well. I wasn't really sure what to do with it over the... I hate the freaking pipette tool so much. I wasn't sure what to do with it over the queue, so I ended up doing nothing. and just kind of experimenting, seeing where it would fit. And I ended up just putting it on top of the other rides instead. Just over pretty much everything. I think the only one I didn't put it over is the Dodgems, which of course is the one that it matches the most. Oh, I didn't put it over the swings there either. And then get rid of it. And there we go. Except I gotta do this part, which this part I sped up really fast. That's why I completely forgot that it's in here. This is tedious as all hell. There's actually custom station covers on the workshop, except you can't use them in scenarios, so you have to do stuff like this, which I should really make a blueprint for this. It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? I could make a better than this blueprint to cover one tile and just use it over and over. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but there we go. So now that it's all built and colored, let's give it a ride. I never build coasters, so the way that this one is an abstract shape really works for me because I don't know what I'm doing. I like that it starts without a lift hill and it actually ends with a lift hill. It gave me a lot of freedom to give it ups and downs going over itself and under itself and through the walls and stuff. And going through the walls is really nice because it means that I can build outside of the footprint that I established for the hole in the ground there. I made it the same size as the hole in the ground for the other coaster, except since they can go in the walls, they don't actually have to be constrained to that size. You can see the inside there from up on this hill. I did have a lot of problems with, when I first completed it, the intensity was actually ultra high because I didn't bank any of the turns, but luckily I have the track edit mod installed so I could click on every piece and just edit it. Here, that was fun. It looks pretty cool. And it looks about how I wanted it to. I think I would prefer more smaller rocks dotting the outsides. Maybe I'll do that later. But for now, I beat the scenario while I built that, and I am rich as hell. So here is why I did not include the coaster building part. Towards the end of the ride here, I couldn't connect two pieces that I had to change. So I went in and I changed them and they wouldn't connect, and I changed them and they wouldn't connect. And Parkitect really desperately needs an autocomplete button. There's no way to build backwards, so I can't build from that next piece to the piece that I'm working on. I have to start with the frontmost piece every time. So every time I delete a piece like this, it's gone until I can reconnect it from this front part of track. People will have to rebuild entire tracks this way. They'll have to go through from the front to the back, piece by piece, trying to get things to connect, because going from like a slight downslope directly to a straight slope or directly to a slight upslope creates a different height track at the end, and it's terrible. It's really hard to deal with. It's the worst part of the game by a long shot, just building tracks and getting them to connect at the end properly. It's so freaking hard. This took me forever. Like, this is sped up really fast. This is sped up so fast that it's kind of jittery. I don't know if it's going to be jittery after I render it, but it's jittery now. And I mean, this was after forever, and it still crashed, and it's bad. So I'm sorry to end the video with complaining about the track editing, but this is why I didn't include the track bit part. So, how am I going to end this video? Pretty badly, that's how. There we go, I did it. Look, woo, I fixed it, yay. Now I can finally start building, which was the other part of the video. Yay, I put them in the wrong order, woo. I didn't plan what I was going to say.